Hello. Good morning. Don't worry, you haven't missed 40 years and something's gone wrong. We're celebrating 40 years today since the first edition of Breakfast, today with Sally Nugent and John Kay.
Yes, the 17th of January 1983 saw the very first breakfast time programme, marking the arrival of breakfast television on our screens.
And one of those people still involved in the programme today, who was involved back in 1983 behind the scenes, Carol!
I have to say I was two.
Yeah, of course. Work experience.
It certainly was. But I joined when I was a student in the summer of 1983. I was a production secretary, and it was so exciting because I always wanted to work with the BBC, and I was here. Or I was in Lime Grove in London, but I was in the studio. All my dreams were coming true.
When you say you're a production secretary, what does that mean? What did you actually do?
Well, I used to type scripts, and we used to use carbon paper. Do you remember that? It was like tissue paper. You'd have 6 pieces in there. If you made a mistake, you had your rubber trying to get it out. The paper would be going up and down.
You make mistakes?
All the time, John, all the time.
Never.
But the other thing, we used to phone some of the presenters to wake them up, so they got an alarm call from us. And I remember one time phoning Frank Boff, and the phone was answered really quickly, and it wasn't Frank, it was his son. And he said, "Oh, please call back, Dad will kill me. I've been at a party. I should have been there at midnight." So I did, and Frank was none the wiser. But, you know, we used to book taxis. We did everything. It was just brilliant. And autocue. You'd be glad that I'm not doing your autocue today.
Oh, I don't know. That could be quite fun, couldn't it? A bit of jeopardy in the programme. It's so lovely to have you here on this special birthday. And you're going to be doing the weather with Francis, the original weatherman.
Yes.
Live, shortly.
Super excited.
OK, that'd be brilliant. Thank you.
Well, also, later in the programme, we will be joined by some other very special guests. They'll be here on the sofa, helping us celebrate.
There's Francis, the weatherman, with his weather jumper on. Also next to him, Debbie Ricks, who was the show's very first newsreader. And there's Russell Grant, Breakfast Time's astrologer. They're having a lovely catch-up, aren't they, over a cup of tea?
They're going to come and join us on our sofa in just a minute. I can't wait for that. I'm hoping Russell will tell us what's going to happen this year. Yeah. Do you think he will?
That'd be useful. That'd be useful.
I'd like to know.
What do you remember about that first? Because we were teenagers. What do you remember?
I think was I a teenager? Or maybe only just getting ready for school. It was really cold, and I remember coming down early, putting the TV on, and thinking it was just the strangest thing ever. Because there'd never been telly before lunchtime at that time. That makes us sound so old. 3 channels, nothing on till lunchtime. Do you want to see something really embarrassing? I'm always kind of embarrassed to share this. No, you're not. You're not embarrassed at all. You love it. This is the secret diary of Jonathan Kay, aged 13 3/4. The actual diary, I found this at my dad's house a few weeks ago. And I didn't keep it for very long, but on the 17th of January, 1983, I actually wrote in it, look, Monday, today I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch the most publicised breakfast TV. And I talk about how weird it was to be eating cornflakes, watching it. So that was written exactly 40 years ago today? 40 years ago today. Now, I notice it's a 5-year diary, but there's only about 4 entries in it. Yeah, and you're not reading any of the others. That's the only one that's going public. But I thought I'd use that as a way of catching up with some of the other people who were involved in that very first team, sitting on the very first sofa.